Hey Lower Decks fans, Dan Gunther here bringing you my review of the newest episode of Star Trek Lower Decks, Terminal Provocations. As usual, the first part of this review will be spoiler free, so if you haven't watched the episode yet, you're safe until I give you the warning. If you don't care about spoilers, by all means watch all the way through, but rest assured I will be getting into the plot in the latter half of this video. So, Terminal Provocations, we're in episode 6, we're starting on the back half of the first season of Lower Decks. And up until this point, I've very much enjoyed every episode with, a few little bumps, maybe some not liking of certain subplots along the way. But for the most part, I've really enjoyed the series. This is kind of a first week where, I have a little bit of mixed feelings about the main plot of the episode. The main plot sees this ensign named Fletcher, and the story kind of revolves around him a little bit. I'm not going to give much away, of course, in this first part, but I found myself really not connecting to this part of the story, which is really unfortunate because I feel like Lower Decks has been, absolutely hit after hit so far. This one, unfortunately, a little bit of a miss in this part. However, there is a subplot involving Rutherford and Tendi that I very much enjoyed, and I thought it was absolutely the best part of this episode, and a lot of really fun things in there that I loved. A lot of, as usual, great tie-ins to Star Trek and in-jokes and that sort of thing, which I definitely appreciate. I feel like some of the character motivation and some of the characterization for the main guest star this week was generally lacking, which is really unfortunate to say. That said, of course, we have, in my opinion, 5 hits and 1 kind of miss so far for Lower Decks. So it's absolutely an overall win. I'm really looking forward to the next 4 episodes as well. And this minor little hiccup in the road, that's okay. I'll forgive them this, even though overall I didn't really connect with that part of the story. There's still a lot of little things in it and in the other story that really I did connect to and really enjoyed. So don't skip this one. I think it's a good one to watch. I think the guest star does a really good job with what he's given in the script. I just don't think that his character was realized to the potential that it should have been, unfortunately. But that's all a little cryptic, but rest assured, once I get into the spoilers, it'll all make a little bit more sense. Speaking of which, here's your spoiler warning. After this, I am getting into the spoilers, so stick around if you don't mind getting spoiled for Terminal Provocations. So the primary story involves another ensign named Fletcher, and he's kind of a pal of Boimler, went to the academy with him, and he, Boimler, and Mariner are doing some sort of diagnostics on the computer cores, something like that, isolinear cores. And Mariner and Boimler want to leave early to go to this concert, and Fletcher offers to finish the job on his own. They go to the concert, they come back, and Fletcher is unconscious and the core is missing, and he gives this whole story of how he was phasered and, maybe these aliens took it. I don't know. I'm not digging on this character. I do like we get an introduction to him at the beginning. There's a scene that I kind of like where he's chugging something out of the replicator, and we get this introduction to his character that says he's kind of like a negotiator, a peacemaker. He brings two sides together and that kind of thing. But then later in the story, his main motivation seems to be that he thinks that he's really stupid, and he ends up plugging the computer core into his brain to make himself smarter. Honestly, this stuff just all really didn't make any sense to me. I didn't like his motivation. I thought his character was wildly uneven throughout it. Like, he has that one motivation to start with, or this one character aspect, and then by the end, it just seems he's a completely different character that it just didn't really fit to me. So that whole part of the story, I think, is a bit of a mess. I'm not really connecting to it, unfortunately. The things that I do like about this story, however, are what it does for the Mariner and Boimler friendship. They definitely seem closer by the end. I don't think there's a budding relationship or romance or anything like that there, but they do come to understand each other a bit more. Boimler kind of appreciates Mariner for being someone who, yes, breaks the rules, but would never put anyone in danger like Fletcher is in this episode. So yeah, and then Mariner, of course, comes to appreciate Boimler a little bit more, and they both kind of are united against this idiot Fletcher. So yeah, one thing I did love about this was the shout out to the Titan at the end. They get Fletcher transferred to the Titan, which is of course Riker's ship that he took command of in Star Trek Nemesis. So, you know, maybe we'll get a canon look at the Titan somehow in Lower Decks. I think that would be really cool. To me, in this episode, the B story is where it really shined, and that's with Rutherford and Tendi. And Tendi might possibly be assigned to the spacewalk mission. But she's nervous because she never took her spacewalk course at the Academy through some sort of possibly clerical error. And Rutherford offers her the use of a new holoprogram he's programmed to help her learn how to spacewalk. And we get introduced to Badgie, who is obviously kind of a take on Clippy, the Microsoft paperclip helper that we all remember from the 90s. I really enjoyed this. I thought this was a lot of fun. Badgie became psychotic because of a holodeck malfunction. I mean, you know, obviously something happens. They're being attacked by these aliens throwing debris at the Cerritos, and the holodeck safeties, of course, turn off because that's what happens. And because Badgie had been mistreated by Rutherford, he turns bad and is trying to murder Tendi and Rutherford. And I really love the lengths to which this story goes. Like, it goes really far. And I mean, there's even a direct shout out by Rutherford as to all of the holodeck adventures previously that we've seen in Star Trek. And obviously a few of them have involved the holodeck going awry, like it does in this episode. So, you know, I was kind of waiting for the holodeck gone awry episode, and that definitely does seem to be the case here. There's some great stuff in here with the relationship between Rutherford and Tendi as well. I love this kind of budding romance where it's pretty clear that Rutherford is crushing pretty hard on Tendi, and, you know, keeps calling, she's just so cute, you know, and stuff like that. So I think that's a lot of fun. I really like the development of these characters. I guess, yeah, both sides of the story, what I like is the development between the characters. The circumstances, the plot of the B plot with the holodeck is a lot of fun. Not so much with the A plot. I'm just not digging on Fletcher. I thought he was annoying and not a great addition. So I'm glad he's not on the ship anymore. And as Mariner says, he's Earth's problem now. So yeah, but we also, of course, get the senior staff dealing with these pirates who are lobbing Starfleet old ship debris at the Cerritos when, you know, they're trying to salvage this centuries old ship, and this Cerritos is trying to prevent it, saying it's Starfleet property, which, by the way, was great to see, like that Antares class / robotic freighter from the animated series type ship. Nice design, good to see it realized here in Lower Decks as well. We get some Shax moments where he really, really wants to fire on the ship, but the captain is being so, you know, ethical and, you know, will not fire on them without provocation, even though there's tons of provocation happening. But, you know, she's so bound by Starfleet rules, she won't, you know, take an aggressive stance until she finally decides to, but by then it's too late. So, you know, some good Star Trek tropes going on here, which I enjoy. So yeah, there's some good things. I did watch it twice to kind of, you know, try and let it redeem itself, but I just never really connected to that A plot, which is disappointing to say because I'm usually so gung-ho about everything in these episodes. But yeah, this one was a little bit of a step down this week, unfortunately. But I want to hear from you guys. What did you think of the episode Terminal Provocations? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks, of course, to the Patreon supporters for all of their help in bringing these episodes to you. I can't do it without you. I truly do appreciate it. To everyone else, thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing if you feel this video is worth it. And even just watching, of course, is the biggest help you can give me. Thank you so much for that. I will see you in the next video. Until then, as always, live long and prosper.